Good morning and welcome to my travel channel. Today we are going whale watching, which has been on our bucket list for a while. We're departing from Gloucester, Massachusetts through Cape Ann Whale Watch Company out to Stellwagen Marine Sanctuary. And since this is wildlife, you never know what you can expect to see, but we're crossing our fingers we'll see lots of wildlife out there. Before we start our journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go get on board the boat and explore. We just boarded the deck, or boarded the boat, and we decided to take the top deck. That way we could get the best views of the whale. But they also have a below deck, and I believe like a snack bar. But as we board, we're going to kind of just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the scenery. I think it's about like a half an hour to 45 minutes to the sanctuary. So it's a little bit of a distance, so let's sit back and relax.
As we start to leave the dock, I am going to begin the harbor tour. I do so for two reasons, one of which is I love to gush about this town. It's so full of rich history and culture. And then secondly, I like to teach you the clock method. The clock method is a system I'm going to use once we're out with the whales. It's a way for me to show you where I'm looking. So Gloucester itself was officially established in 1623. It was initially a shipbuilding community as well as a farming and foresting community. We did not start out as fishing, but once we got a taste of that industry, we never left. Now, beyond this schooner adventure at 2 o'clock, you see this red and yellow building. This is the Gloucester Maritime Heritage Center. It used to be part of the Marine Railway, and it became pretty decrepit, so some local citizens refurbished it. It's one of my favorite places to send tourists who are in town. Great touch tanks, lots of history displayed there. So if you have any amount of time in Gloucester, come down to this area known as Harbor Loop. Now here at 1 o'clock is a U.S. Coast Guard station. We always give thanks to the U.S. Coast Guard men and women who keep us and our family and friends safe at sea. Those two vessels tied up parallel are 47 feet long. I know that by the first two numbers of the identification number on the hull. They're meant to right themselves in less than 30 seconds if they capsize in a storm. This is 10 Pound Island, and there are some rumors on how it got its name. One of which is we paid 10 pounds of silver for the island, but we bought all of Cape Ann for 7, so I don't think that's very true. So we've only traveled about 11 miles, which is a very nice distance to travel away from. And what we're going to be looking for is that blower exhale from the whale. For those of you folks who've never been on a whale watch before, it's going to look like a puff of smoke coming out of the surface of the water. And average dive times out here for whales can be anywhere from about 5 to 10 minutes. It really depends on a lot of factors. How deep water are we in? Is there schools of fish around? What are the whales working on? What are they doing this morning? So we're going to be actively looking. Great look at this humpback whale. I want you to be looking for that green on the side of this whale. I'll talk about that in a moment. I also want you to watch this whale's face when it surfaces again. You see those bumps on its face. We'll talk all about whale anatomy in a few moments. Coming right close to us. That's a dorsal fin you see. That little dot, there's the whale's face. Double blowhole. So that little dot you see on the dorsal is actually a barnacle. And down she goes. Wow. So once again, our whale is just here. Some service at 1 o'clock and be coming right back up. There you go. And going down.
We just saw our first whale, and it's quite the whirlwind. I mean, once the whale comes up, you have like a few minutes to see the whale, and then the flipper comes up, and the fluke, yes. but you never know where she's going to come up. And the first whale we saw was a humpback whale, which apparently take maybe 10 minutes to almost up to 45 minutes. So hopefully we can see her pretty soon. Okay. We're chasing the one and only whale we've seen so far, which is the humpback whale, Pinball. And they are very hard to see. She went like pretty far away.
Yeah, it's just being chased by them.
Oh, and that's her breath. I just said, she's right here still. She's actually right there at 1 o'clock. You can follow her by the green color of that reflection. We are at an advantage here in the Atlantic Ocean. If we were tracking whales in the Pacific Ocean, much harder to track because their pectoral flippers are all black.
Wow.
There she goes, right down again.
The first and right now the only whale we've seen so far is Pinball, the humpback whale. When we first did it, it was a little bit of a whirlwind, but we've been able to get a couple great views.
Now, you may have noticed that Pinball has definitely changed her behavior. So that was in comparison to her 9.5, 10-minute dives. It was only a 6-minute dive. And she surfaced and fluked a couple times before going down for that final deep dive. Definitely indicating a change in behavior. That is what is a challenge out here, is interpreting what we see and trying to make sense of it.
Now, when you do whale watching, when the whales go down under, you never know when they're going to come up. So far, Pinball has been maybe a 10-minute dive, although she just recently changed her behavior to 6 minutes.
We could hear her.
Oh, well, I was just repeating.
You don't need to repeat.
I like giving the viewers my spin, which is exactly the same spin, just in case you don't know. But yeah, you never know where she's going to pop up, so that becomes a challenge because you just got to find out when she comes up for breathing her air and then the fin. So we're going to keep an eye out. The naturalist was telling us that there's 3 different feeding grounds. We started off with Jeffrey Shelf, where we saw the humpback whale, but we're now hauling to the next feeding ground where we can see different whales there. So we're going to kind of hang tight. Maybe we'll get a beverage later since they have a snack bar here, especially since some people are a little chilly. Maybe a hot beverage would be the best. Cheers. I got the special apple cider mimosa, and of course, hot cider for the people that are a little chilly. Tastes delicious. Cold, but delicious.
Oh, the warm is so much better.
We found an Atlantic white-side dolphin, which is apparently very rare to see, so we're going to try to see if we can get a up-close shot of the dolphin. Oh, there, I see a fin down right there.
I was trying to take a picture of these guys, and I recommend you try to take a video. You'll be much happier with yourself when you get home tonight. They're extremely confident. Oh, look at these every good
Look at them.
up here inside of the boat.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
so pretty. You can see them under the water. He's right. You can see the white part.
Chat in the mic. I just think it's so important for you to be present with them. We do have a cap out here at about 10 o'clock.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, I got it. I got it.
Did you see the calf? Yeah, I see it. Oh! The dolphins were really cool. We got to see them like body surf. Even one of them, I think, jumped up in the air, which was really awesome. But we're heading back to port. If we see another whale or something else, we may stop for that. But I think right now we're just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride, just like the dolphins did, surfing along the water. The whale watching was amazing. I would definitely recommend doing it again. I think Andrea really loved it. And you just never know what you're gonna see out there, which makes it a great trip every time. And I thought that the Cape Ann Whale Watch Company did a great job. The people employed by the company, very knowledgeable. And our captain, he knew how to steer the boat to see the humpback whale and the dolphins. But we have more coming up in the winter and fall, so stay tuned for future videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But until next time, keep on exploring.